My name is Helena Battipaglia, and this is an exclusive interview for the Newhouse with Carrie Mae Weems. So I guess my first question for you would be, what exactly motivated you to become a socially motivated artist? And was there like a pivotal moment in your life that you knew this is what I had to do?
Oh my, that's a good question. I'm not sure if I can say that there was one thing that motivated me. There wasn't one thing that motivated me. I think that there was a set of conditions that motivated me to think about art in a very particular kind of way. So, so I'm a child of the 60s. I grew up in the radical 60s. And so my background is informed by that. What I was thinking about is informed by that. There was the war. There were all of these assassinations. One of the earliest memories I have really is the memory of the assassination of John Kennedy, right? The assassination of Martin Luther King, the riots that were taking place across the country, the demonstrations at Kent State. So I grew up in a moment where being aware of social conditions was a part of who we were. It was a part of America at that time. And so I think I'm just a child of America from the 60s.
Okay, that's great. So I guess also, what do you think a picture can depict about the intersectionality of race, class, and gender, which I know you deal with in your artwork? What do you think that a picture can depict about that words can't?
Well, I don't know if it's just a matter of a picture depicting something about race, gender, or I don't think it's that simple. I think it's more complex than that. I think that pictures can speak to us about the depths of humanity. That's the way I sort of like to think about it. That the human spirit can be revealed, known in a way that is very, very different in words. Words are very powerful. And, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and then the response could be, which 1,000 are you speaking about, right? So photographs do one kind of thing, a visual thing, of allowing us to connect on an emotional level in a very direct and unmitigated way. And language does something else. Like music does something else. Dance does something else yet again, right? All of the forms, I think, are there that allow us to get closer to, I think, the truth of the matter, the truth of our circumstance. Picasso said that art is a lie that allows us to get closest to the truth.
Wow. I've never heard. That's very powerful. Very true. Wow.
So we're engaged in the act of constructing. Photographs are constructions. This video project that's being made right now, it's a certain kind of construction. And it has a certain kind of artifice about it. But hopefully it allows us to get closer to something that is deeply true.
This is something that came to mind when I was doing some research on you and everything. When taking pictures, do you already have an idea in mind regarding what you want the photo to evoke, or do larger meanings kind of reveal themselves?
Both. I mean, I always start with, often I start with, with great visualization. I spend a lot of time thinking through notions and ideas and emotions that I try to figure out then how to describe visually, how to make, how to construct, how to organize. And then something else happens that is always much bigger than anything that I can imagine, usually. Sometimes it's worse. It's not always good. Sometimes it's worse. And then sometimes, when you really hit the nail on the head, something really extraordinary happens. And sometimes it takes me years to actually really understand what I've done.
Wow. Okay, so my last question would be, obviously storytelling is a huge component of your work. So this is true for journalists as well. And so what advice would you give aspiring journalists like us as we go out into the world and attempt to make the best stories possible for the public?
That's a good question. You know, I think that being a participant observer is one of the best ways to engage in life. And that the story is always your story. The story is never the story really of somebody else.
Right.
The story is the human story. And to that extent, you are involved with every story, right? The story is about you as much as it is about something else or somebody else. You know, and that's the thing that's really exciting. And so I think the thing that's very, very important about doing what we do as cultural producers is to get out of the way of the work, is to allow all your feebleness and all of your sort of idiocy to get out of the way of the work and really allow the work to really speak to you. And once the work speaks to you, it really tells you what it needs. It tells you what it needs. You know, and if you can let your ego go, right? If you can put that aside for a minute, then something else will really sort of emerge that really needs to be told, right? So you don't really have to struggle for the idea. You have to work. You have to go to your desk every day and you have to work. You have to go to your desk every day and you have to work every day. You have to write, you have to read, you have to engage with other artists, you have to engage with other journalists, you have to know. And then you have to get out of the way and you have to just relax and allow ideas to come to you in terms of how they need to be represented and how they need to be told.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome
oh my God,
so much.
great answers.
Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, of course. They're
That's
happy to
really
have
lovely.
you.
Thank you.